Mike Sullivan. I'm a former IRS agent and teaching instructor with the Internal Revenue Service. Welcome to my YouTube station. It's the home of the 5 minute or less video. I can tell you everything you need to know within this 5 minutes. I worked for IRS for a decade. I've been in private practice for 4 decades. I've been doing this, yes, actually 50 years. I am a national expert in IRS resolution matters. By the way, I have a whole team of former IRS agents on staff, and I'm on the national news a lot. They interview me. You can see my staff, which is really important, and my interviews at 777irs.com. I urge you to go to my site and see the team that I have. That's 777irs.com. I do these videos for 3 reasons. So you can get informed, I educate you, and I give you insider information when I can. And today, you're going to get insider information. As a former revenue officer, I've worked thousands and thousands of cases. And the most important aspect that you need to know about working with IRS is your financial statement. The 433F, the 433A, and the 433B drive how IRS is going to work your case. And if you are not familiar with these forms and not knowing what IRS is going to be digging at and do a deep dive on and make their complete recommendation on this form, you should not be giving IRS that financial statement. Being really honest with you, that you'd actually be a fool to go into this because you're not going to get the result that you want. You have no idea what the service is looking for, what they can do, and how this financial statement is going to change your life. Now, if you know what the form is and what they're doing for, you're going to have a significant amount of great success. But the problem is most people have no idea what the agent's going to drill on and what they're going to do, and they give these financial statements freely, and their financial life is going to determine on this. And I'm trying to wake you up to this. Now, some of you people cannot afford to pay a service. I understand that, and if you don't have a lot, you don't need to hire anybody. There's nothing really IRS can do. A lot of people, probably 40% that are hearing this, is your case should be put in currently non-collectible. There's really nothing IRS can do because you don't have the asset base nor the income base to go ahead and do anything. So IRS to do anything. So there's nothing wrong with just calling yourself and giving IRS the forms, even though I always throw a shade of caution about doing this. But if you owe a larger debt to IRS, you don't want to do this. What most people don't realize, I'm going to give you 2 things. IRS is going to be really drilling down on your assets to see what equities you have, what you can liquidate, what you can turn over to IRS, and more importantly is the IRS National Standard Program, which just flips people out when they hear about it. It's kind of unfair, but it's what IRS does. According to the Department of Labor, the Department of Labor has set up statistics for every region and county in the United States, and they're going to dictate to you how much you can spend for rent or house payment, what food and clothing, car payment, and car expenses. Yes, IRS will dictate to you, and if you have over that amount, you're going to get just nailed to the wall, and you're going to have an installment agreement you're not going to want. Now, there's ways around this. That's my secret sauce. That's not your secret sauce. That's how I make my money, and I do well. But I will tell you that you should look at those national standards. The national standards can be found on Googling IRS national standards for food and clothing, IRS national standards for housing and utilities. That will go to a state, and that will go to a county. IRS national standard for car payments, IRS national standards for car operation. Once you understand the national standards program, there's a way then at that point to understand how IRS is going to work your case. But part of the secret sauce is knowing what you can include, what you can take off, what you can change, and what you can move around, that only someone that's experienced can go ahead and do that. Anyway, I'm lovingly just telling you, you have to be careful giving IRS these financial statements. I'm not talking about fraudulent activity. I'm just talking they're going to get into your pocketbook because they are a collection agency, the big collection agency, and their job is to collect a big monthly payment if you can't pay this in full. There's ways around some of that stuff to have good successes, but you really do. I'm just telling you, you have to hire a professional to do it. being truly honest with you. Give me a subscription if you would. I'd really appreciate it. I've told you to. Subscriptions drive YouTube and people who are on there. That's why they always ask for subscriptions and likes. Thank you very much. Appreciate you.